Hi everyone, Andrew here for ABELI Reviews, and today we are trying to get to 1 billion credits. That's right, you heard me right. 1 billion credits. So I'm really excited for this. I think this is going to be super cool. It's one of those things that it's a major milestone for this account, and really I'm couldn't be more than pleased to surprise Abby with this much on her account. So we are on her account, which is even better, and I think she's going to be just thrilled about it. Oh, kind of see me messing around here. So how are we going to do that? So why don't I kind of talk a little bit about what's going on. Looks like there's somebody fighting out there, which is disappointing, and sort of how we're going to make that billion credits mark. So if you have been following along in this saga, our previous video, we made just over 500 million credits, so 500 million. And we did that by transporting wine. And this is sort of an interesting kind of way to do that. And I'll kind of explain it, but let me get into Super Cruise. We can do all this kind of stuff, so that way I don't have to be doing two things at once. And I'll tell you a little bit about the booze cruise and how it allows you to make large amounts of credits. We got this guy here. Oh, this one's close by. That's even better. I'll kind of tell it as we go. We've got plenty of time. We're not very close to 1 billion just yet. Those of you who want to know and keep track at home, we have just over 500 million credits. So that's great. But we need to make another 500 million credits, and this is how we're going to do it. We are going to go to various fleet carriers. We're up here in the HIP. It's a system called HIP, HIP 58832. It is about as far as away from the galaxy of the Milky Way as you can possibly imagine. We are up here in the tippity top. You can actually see the Milky Way galaxy out our port side window there. So we are nowhere close to it. We actually had to hitch a ride on a fleet carrier to even get here. Huge shout out, by the way, to the Pilot Trading Network. They are actually the group that we are taking advantage of. Not taking advantage of, but we're the ones that we're using their fleet carrier system, their Discord channel to make this revenue. And again, thank you so much. Those members of the PTN, or the Pilot Trading's network, they are a incredibly kind group of individuals that do all of this out of just the kindness of their heart. They don't have to do this, and they do that because they just care for the community. Thank you so much. That being said, while this is all happening, and don't worry, I will be I'll explain everything, but essentially, and if you missed some of our other videos, what we're taking part in is this amazing event, this in-game event that takes place up here in this system, or this system. Let's go ahead and get a little bit of wine, and then we'll go from there. Boop, 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 boop. And don't worry if I'm going too quick. I will explain all of it in due time. We've got all the time in the world. I'm just going to kind of continue to show you what I'm doing, and I'll do it multiple times, so don't feel like you're missing anything. But a little bit of background. We are participating in the booze cruise, and that's super exciting. So what is the booze cruise? It happens once a month, which already makes it sort of special, right? Like, you've got to kind of get your calendar in order and get everything sort of lined up. From there, let me pick my station, Rackham's Peak. Don't worry, all will be explained. I'm just doing these things to continue our progress. So again, the booze cruise happens when people at the station of Rackham's Peak, which is where we're heading to now, in the system HIP 58832, have a very public holiday. And during that holiday, they ask for alcohol, specifically wine, but they'll take any, but they really pay well for the wine. So during this time, they pay way above the galactic average for the price. Actually, they pay way above most times because they're so far away. But during this specific holiday, they pay 270,000 credits per ton. Think about that for a second. 270,000 credits per ton. On a normal time, they actually pay 33,000 credits per ton. So already they're going to pay way above. That being said, the HIP is about 5,000 light years above the galactic plane. So we are crazy far away. And you can only get here by another fleet carrier. So you have to hitch a ride. I think we're getting attacked again. Oh, goodness. Yep, you can see him on our radar. Let's just get to this station, and hopefully this guy doesn't do any more damage to us. Well, there he goes, trying to hurt our shields. What a jerk. You know, there's always someone out there, right? Our shields will be fine. He'll get scared away before then. So anyways, as I was describing, they're going to pay a lot of money for wine. Wine which many fleet carriers are actually flying up to this station for us to then unload for them and then sell. Again, this is where that sort of comes out of the niceness of their heart. They don't have to share this wine with us. They could just do this themselves and take all the credits, which, by the way, is substantial. Fleet carriers can carry around 20,000 units of wine, each unit being a ton. That equates at the 270,000 credits per ton to 5.5 billion credits per fleet carrier. That is wild. Absolutely wild. Let's go ahead and line up because this station has something kind of funny with it. Again, I'll explain that as we go. This is going to get a little annoying for a second. I do apologize. So what's happening here is we are at this station, Rackham's Peak. Now, unfortunately, Rackham's Peak kind of has this funny little quirk that it does not allow. One, it only has medium and small landing zones. So that means if you have a ship that's large, you can't land here. You can only land medium and small ships. In addition to that, it's a very busy station, even when it's just you logged in here. So you kind of have to spam the landing pad to be able to be allowed to land. Now, that's all fine and dandy. You can see we solved it ourselves. But essentially, that does mean the ships you fly have to be mediums. So what we're in right now is a Python, but you don't have to be in a Python. That's just the most efficient way to sort of make the most efficient money taking part in this event. You can come here with a Sidewinder. Do not let anybody tell you you can't have a good time making money. You can, and it's going to be fun. You can actually make, if you fill your Sidewinder with just cargo holds, get rid of everything else, you can make about 65 million credits because you can carry about 280 tons of wine. We're carrying a little bit less because I do want to have a shield. As you can see, that shield paid off. We were getting shot at. But yeah, either way, you can make a pretty good penny, which is fantastic. So let's go ahead and sell our wine here, and you're going to see my example. So we were just over the 500 million credit mark. Go to our commodities market, go to sell. Go to wine. Whammo. We made a little bit of profit there. Look at that now. We are at 600 million credits. We are cruising through this. Let's, it doesn't look like, I don't think we'll have to repair ourselves. We just take a couple shots, so we'll just repair everything, just so we're sitting well. Auto launch. Now, the next sort of little bit of information I want to kind of hit on, right, is this event itself, the actual public holiday where this system, this outpost pays that kind of money, it's not guaranteed. It typically only happens once a month, but it is not guaranteed to actually happen. Before I get too far, let me go to the next ship. And don't worry, everything I'm talking about, we will discuss. I'm just going to go ahead and first get myself to the next fleet carrier that has wine that has announced itself. So we are looking for the NAC and Rust. Starts with NAC. Scroll down here. There it is. We'll target it. Okay, where was I? Yes, so I was talking about that this whole experience here is a gamble. It's not a guarantee. Essentially what will happen is the system will every month kind of go through a cycle, and it'll just gamble off and say, yes, the event is happening, and then all these fleet carriers are going to want to head to this system and start selling their wine. But it's not worth making the trip unless the event is actually happening, because it does take quite a bit of time. Multiple hours, in fact, real world hours. And the Pilots Trading Network does try their best to sort of announce all of this stuff in their Discord channel. Big shout out to them again. Make sure to check them out, and you'll find all the information that I'm kind of referencing to you, and even more, far more information. Other thing is, you want to make sure not to get stuck here. So when you ride in with a fleet carrier, you're going to want to make sure you leave at the same time that fleet carrier is leaving. I always find the PTN Booze Snooze is the right fleet carrier to log off on. That way, when the event ends, they will take me back to the starting location, which is back in the main bubble. All that aside, that kind of talks a little bit about what the event is. And you sort of see me do a couple things here, right? We were essentially going to various fleet carriers. They announce themselves. They say, I have wine for you, right? And then I will pick it up. So here's my little concern. I sure hope we're on the front forward-facing side. It looks like we are. My goodness, wouldn't crashing into this planet be a damper on our adventure? I don't see that carrier yet. Usually my eyes are able to see it. Nothing. I think we're fine. I'm going to be confident. So what we're doing here is, in their Discord channel, they have a channel called Wine Cellar Unloading. And usually only about 1 or 2 carriers at a time are being announced. So that way it's not major chaos, right? And that way one gets emptied entirely. But the entire channel is basically told, hey, this carrier, the one that you see here, is ready for all of you to come to it, buy the wine, empty it out to 0 so they can get out of here, get out of the system, so that another one can come in. Because you can only have so many fleet carriers in a system at a time, but there's even more people participating in the event than there are fleet carriers. Or there are more fleet carriers than there are available spots in the system. So once a fleet carrier is empty, they want to get it out of there so it can actually, so the next guy that has all of their wine can come into the station, into the system, and then spend all their wine, sell it. So it's always good to kind of have a nice organized experience, and that's why the Pilots Trading Network puts on this lovely event. Of course, you can do this all of yourself. If you have your own fleet carrier, you can fly up and deal with all that stuff, but I think you'll have a better time participating with all the fun of the people. That being said, so once you get to your fleet carrier that is selling wine to the public, you go to your carrier services. From there, you will go to the commodities market. In the buy section, you'll look for their wine category. Buy as much wine as you can. It will sort of seem like you didn't buy any. If you go back to it, it'll then tell you your cargo is full. And then from there, you will auto launch or launch, and then you're going to want to head back to the station at Rackham's Peak, and you're going to sell that wine. So let's go to our station, Rackham's Peak. Obviously, Super Cruise isn't going to work, but I do that out of habit. We're going to whip around, get ourselves in line with the station, which is back at this sun. Boost. A couple things to keep in mind. It can get a little dangerous. There are pirates up here, and they will scan you. And if they see you have wine, they're going to try to knock you out of Super Cruise or attack you like you kind of saw at the start of this video. If they do that, just keep running or fight them. Totally your choice. You can choose to fight however you like. Don't let me tell you how to live your life. For our purposes, I just want to make as much money in the maximum amount of time as possible, so we just try to keep on cruising. From there, you head to Rackham's Peak. And again, you can participate in any kind of ship. Python is just the most efficient, but you are more than welcome to come here with any ship as long as you have cargo available spots. For this ship, I've pretty much emptied everything. If we were to look at our modules, you can see here we have cargo, where is it? Cargo around 64, 64, 32, 32, 16, 8, 8, and then that's it. So we basically filled everything. The only things we left off were we did want to have a shield, but we could have replaced that shield for another cargo rack with a capacity of 64 tons. I think shields are important. So I didn't want to waste a high good shield. But it does limit the amount of stuff we can carry, but we're still making great money. Of course, then from there, you essentially help unload the wine. Like we're doing right now. We just bought some wine, and then we are going to go sell it. The ship, the way that we got here is we joined the Booze Snooze, and that is a fleet carrier that's down in the major system. I'm trying to remember where it actually is, but you can find all that information in the Pilot Trading Network's Discord channel. It'll tell you where it is located at any given time. One important thing, once you get up here, make sure when you log out, even if you're going to say, oh, I'll log back in, because this event only lasts about 48 hours. Oh, I'll log in and make more money. But what if you don't? What if you get distracted? Life happens. So I think it's always important to log out on the carrier that took you up here. That way you know when the event's over, if a few days pass, you're not stuck up here for the next 30 days, right? Hoping the next event comes so everybody can help you. Now, there's probably a nice, lovely person that's going to say, oh, my fleet carrier's still there. Hop on and I'll take you back. But there may not be. And then you're stuck up here just sort of looking at the pretty views. But there's not a lot else you can do in this space. So it's always important to log out somewhere where you will be safe and comfortable. That's something to keep in mind. From there, there's a few other pieces, and I'll just kind of talk a little bit about sort of their Discord channel so you're aware. There is the Booze Cruise sign up, which is a channel that you use. Oh, goodness. Oh, this is a great example. Okay, so we are getting attacked. So what we're going to want to do is use that escape vector and not have to deal with these guys. Of course, we could fight them. But from my perspective, I think we shouldn't have any issues escaping. I always hate how it sort of pushes me away from my destination. I wish it would just line you back up. But that's okay. We won't hold that against our targeting computer. Where are you at? Rackham's Peak. Hope I'm not just spinning around it. I've been known to do that a few times where I'm so close to it. There it is. We were. Perfect. So a little bit about those channels. There's, of course, the Booze Cruise sign up, where if you sign up for that, you'll get those notifications. They'll let you know when the event could be starting to be prepared, and then when their actual ships are going to leave. So I think that's super important. You'll want to be subscribed to that channel if you want to participate. Of course, you can do this yourself. All those fun pieces. From there, there's also the Booze Cruise announcements. That's where they announce all those fun things. And then there's the Booze Cruise departures, which lists all of the carriers that are going to go back and forth. And there's Wine Cellar loading, which is a carrier advert for loading carriers with wine in the bubble. That's where all the other, that's basically down over there. They have to load these things with wine, and someone's got to do that. Then there's Wine Cellar deliveries, which is the coordination of the loading operation in the bubble. Wine Cellar unloading, that's the one that I'm using to figure out which carrier is open for business for us to buy, so that's your best friend. The Booze Cruise chat is a lovely place to just meet the other participants of this event. It's also a great way to learn about which carrier has stuff left, so if it's far away from you and they say there's only a few tons left, maybe don't make that jump, wait for the next one. And then finally, the Booze Snooze and Garage. The Garage is a safe place to leave your ship at the peak, and then the Booze Snooze is the carrier that will initially make that jump once everything happens, and they will take you home when the event is done. That's a little bit about those pieces. Let's get a little closer to this guy, and you'll see how I sort of have to knock on the door quite a few times, and then we'll be able to enter. Yep, docking request denied. Just a little pause. That's okay. I can see some of these ships are going to leave their spots, and they usually let us in after that. It doesn't take very long. Look at that, we're back in. So, a little bit of fun facts, since we are, shooting for $1 billion and we're only at 600 million. These are fun facts about the booze cruise. The carrier owners basically run at break-even prices. This means that the carrier owners do not make a profit or a loss. However, there is an initial upfront cost of about $486 million to load the carrier. From there, jumping a carrier up and down takes at least 12 hours of jumping. It's 21 minutes per piece. So this is not a short trip up and down, which is wild that somebody, one, figured this out, and then two, these people put, this team of individuals puts this event on. So you really got to give everybody credit for that. 658 million, we are cruising. Let's go ahead and go from there. The other fun part is a cargo python selling at Rackham's Peak during the booze cruise gives about 72 million in credit. That is if you have all of the cargo spots available. Of course, as I referenced, we do not. We're making about that 50 so million per run, which I still think is a great number. To my knowledge, the knack that we used before is still available, so we're going to go ahead and try to go to that to buy more. Try to get a double dip, if you will. Let's shoot by fleet carriers. There it is. Most likely it's probably going to be empty by the time we get there, but that's okay. Other fun parts is loaders in the bubble do this so people can make profits. The profits in the bubble are significantly lower, so of course, again, you make way more money here. That's just a pretty easy fact. Trying to see if I have any other fun facts for you. It's quite a jump, but if you are looking to join this next time, what you're going to want to do is go to Galley, the system Galley, that's G-A-L-I. And then in the system Galley, of course, there's the Chadwick dock, which is a lovely dock to go to. But what you're looking for is the PTN Booze Snooze. And once this event is over, it is going to head back there. And it's always waiting there. So that's where you can get on your ship, where you can get your ship on that fleet carrier. And the PTN Booze Snooze will take you up to HIP 58832, and then it'll allow you to go to Rackham's Peak, which is where we sell the wine. And then all the other carriers will land in here and you can sell to them, or you can buy from them and sell. At the end of this event, the PTN Booze Snooze will then head back to Galley. And again, that takes about 12 hours. So it's important that when you log out on that PTN Booze Snooze. Otherwise, you are getting left behind or you're going to go for a ride. So I think that's always important to remember. I hope we get that extra run. I think we might. We are very close. We'll see. If not, no worries. We just had a lovely view of this planet. Okay, here we go. Now, we just need to get within 7.5 kilometers. Looks like we are there now. Docking request granted. They're really kind folks, they'll let us in. It's these types of events that I really think having the docking computer, having the super cruise, all that kind of stuff really does make this helpful. Because look at that, I can chat with all of you, I can sit here, and then it'll just sort of take care of it. Now, again, it does take slots, so that is a trade-off that you, as your own pilot of your own ship, need to make. But for me, I think it's fun, I like it. Kind of feels futuristic to have the onboard computer. But again, different strokes for different folks. We're about to land. Things are looking good. Carrier services. I wonder how much is left. We can see, of course. When we go to the commodities market. Ooh, 5,000 left. Yeah, we were able to buy though. So we're not taking nearly that much from it. can see our cargo did not update. I want to point that out. You might notice that too. It says 0 out of 224. It is actually still there, but if you go back to this again, it will refresh it, and then you get that announcement. I just always want to reference that. It scared me the first time. So like, oh my gosh, spent that money. Where is my wine? Not to fear. It's still there. Now let's look for the sun, because that's where Rackham's Peak is. Line ourselves up. Boost, boost, boost. Go to our filter. Close this, because we were on fleet carriers. Oh, goodness. Then go to stations. Rackham's Peak. We aren't quite there yet, because we're mass locked. That's okay. Old habits. Boom. Mass locked. Let's see. Where are we sitting right now? Oh, I'll have to wait a second. Well, where we're sitting is in the pilot seat, of course. That being said, where are we sitting for money? 653 million. That's fantastic. So we should be getting to that 700 million mark in this sale here, which is great. We're just cruising along, cruising through space. I always like just the sound, the music they put in this game. It's a pretty peaceful experience to sort of go through space. You know, it was totally unrelated to this. I know I just said it was peaceful and I'm going to chat your ear off. If you wanted silence, you wouldn't listen to this voice. That being said, I was reading an interesting article, a review on the latest Bethesda title, Starfield. I haven't had a chance to try it yet. I think I'll look into it. I'll give it a shot, just to try it out. But I thought one of the comments that somebody had made was, forgot to turn Super Cruise on. They said that a lot of people were complaining because of the planets that you could visit were sort of devoid of life and empty. Now, again, I haven't played the game, so you're going to have to take my opinion with a massive mountain of salt, or like pinch of salt, or whatever the term is. Not salt from like I'm salty, but salt isn't like I'm not an informed individual in terms of the logistics of that game. But people were sort of complaining, or I guess commenting, I don't know if they were complaints, that the game felt empty. The planets all felt barren. And I was thinking about that. It kind of reminds me of sort of what I'm aware of in terms of space, where most of space is, to my knowledge, barren. Like Earth is kind of a special like case, right? Like we're sort of the only location we know that's teeming with like intelligent life, interesting life, in terms of interesting as in you can have a conversation with it, or at least you can engage with it in a way that like could be war or not. And I think Starfield kind of takes place in sort of just a futuristic mankind. So I thought those critiques were kind of probably very valid. It is still a video game. But just from a personal standpoint, like I kind of expect that, right? Like it's space. Space is fairly devoid of a lot of things. I actually think that's one of Elite Dangerous's like selling points to a certain extent. Now that being said, I say that as somebody that their favorite part of this game is bounty hunting and the space battles. So I do hope Bethesda, because I don't want to see any games fail, right? Like any space game, I want to see it succeed. That just makes this genre more exciting, and it you know, competition breeds better experiences for us as consumers. But I was just thinking about that, how I'll be curious when I try the latest Bethesda title. Will I feel the same way of it being empty? Now, another one that I'm kind of curious to try, because it's funny, I was actually an early backer, was Star Citizen. We should probably slow down. There we are. I just like to keep this guy in view. But I'm not slowing down. I'm not. Slow down. Oh, good gravy. You know, you have this really great plan and it just falls apart. Okay. Well, we'll just sit here. Whatever. As long as I can see the text. I was an early backer of Star Citizen. I'm talking like early backer. I don't remember exactly when the game came out, but the first like year I was a backer for it. I was pretty young. Should have bought Bitcoin instead, in hindsight. I think that investment would have been better. Because if I'm not mistaken, at that time, it was $100 to buy a ship. Or at least that was one of them. I don't remember specifically what ship I bought. But I specifically remember, yeah, okay, so I just looked it up, 2012, and I want to say, like, within the first year, so I want, for my mind, I feel like 2013 is when I bought into it, within that, like, year's time frame, but maybe it was 2012. Maybe I thought the world was going to end, right? In any case, I spent $100 plus, you know, tax and change to back that game, because it looked really cool. And I still think it does, from what I've seen. But I have a spaceship in the game, but at that time, you couldn't even, like, play the game. It was just I bought an imaginary thing, hoping that this game would be something. And, oh nice, we got a promotion. That's what you like to see. And now I sort of look back. Actually, before I get there, I'll kind of talk about that story. I remember as it came on, as it continued to sort of evolve as the game continued on. They had that lovely trailer, really good stuff, looked fun, and then eventually you could walk in a hangar. I don't even know if the hangar had your ship yet. I think it had like a little statue of your ship, but you could walk in this massive hangar, much like I can do here in Elite Dangerous. And then, months, maybe years later, I don't remember. I think it was all fairly within the same time frame, because it dropped off my radar fairly quickly. I'd kind of forgotten about it. You could then see your ship in the hangar, and you could walk around this hangar and look at your ship. I never got to the point where I could go in it. I literally could just look at my ship, and that was it. I don't remember what it was. It was this little sort of single fighter. It was all black. Probably in hindsight, I shouldn't have spent that money because, you know, it was a long $100, and that's no small piece of change. I probably felt like a chump. Like, there's money I'll never get back. That could have been groceries, utilities, or again, Bitcoin, apparently. But yeah, I think about that, and I wonder, is that game devoid of life when you go to planets? Like Elite Dangerous, most of the planets I visited that I could land on were just barren rocks. I don't think it diminished it for me. It actually was still really fun, and I still thoroughly enjoy seeing planets, circling them, looking at them, taking it in, because I feel like I'm part of this, and it's real in this game, at least. Big shout, little plug. We just did a whole series of videos where we looked at the various planets in our home solar system, and we landed on one, Mercury. I hope to land on others. I'll have to do a little bit of research to see which ones we can. All right, we're looking for another ship. It's the Rebel 2. PTN Rebel 2. You know what would be nice? A sort or a search. And just the ability to... oh, there's the boost news. Shout out to you. There it is. I'll have to... I'm not really, like, going anywhere with these stories. I'm just sort of talking, letting you all learn a little bit about me. But if you've tried the latest Bethesda, which I don't know why I keep drawing a blank on it. I'd probably even call it Star Citizen instead. Of course, if you tried Star Citizen, please share that. Kind of explain your, what you think of it. But then the Bethesda game, I don't want to look it up. I know I could. I have my phone right here. I could look it up. Let me think about this for a second. Star Citizen, Elite Dangerous, and what is the other one? I've said it a few times. I'm embarrassed. I'm embarrassed. You know when you're like, you're thinking of a word, you know you've said it a few times, and all of a sudden your mind just throws it away. All right, because this is annoying for those of you listening, I will look it up on my phone so I don't waste your time. Starfield. Oh, I'm embarrassed. I'm embarrassed. Anyways, if you played Starfield as well, please let me know what your thoughts were. Was your experience similar to some of the reviews that I'd read, that it felt barren when you went to these various planets? I saw some trailers and I saw a little bit of people playing it. It looked like you could walk around your spaceships and you could customize them. I think that's really cool. It's neat they offered that. I personally would love to see that here in Elite Dangerous, right? I'd love to walk around my ships. These things are so personal to me, right? I spent this time customizing it, earning the credits to get to it. I'm fine if they don't ever add it in, but it's just, something to think about. Yeah, that's a little bit about my opinion or questions or thoughts on the latest space games. There we are. Request that docking. Oh, looks like we received a lovely message. Promotion. Oh yeah, Founders World Permit. You've been issued the Founders World Permit because we made it to the elite status in something. Specifically, our promotion to the Federation's, Pilots Federation of Trading. Well, thank you so much. We will give that a shot. Just to see it on the side. Boom! Elite. Love it. And here we land. Carrier services. Again, those of you maybe just dropping in. Go to that commodities market. Buy as much wine as you can fill. For us, that's small. Just under $5 million investment. Gonna just make us a great amount of money. 50 million, so that's a heck of a return.
Ship release confirmed. Move clear of the landing pad.
Zoom, zoom, zoom. Then we go over here. Again, find that station. Rackham's Peak. We're probably not out of space yet. There we go. And here we are.
4, 3, 2, 1, engage.
And if I'm not mistaken, yeah, we were at the 700 million mark. So we seem to be doing about every 2 runs, we get 100 million. I would say that's not a bad way to spend some time. We'll get to 8 million here soon, 9, and then 1 billion. Lock this up. What else should we all talk about? I've been thinking lately that I should try this game in VR. I think I brought this up earlier in this video, or maybe a past one. I tried it very briefly, and it was so funny. I noticed, I was like, oh, this doesn't look very good. It was kind of bad. And that's because it defaulted to like the lowest graphics settings, which is weird. And it did the same thing when I installed this game too, all those months ago. It defaulted to the lowest graphics setting, although we're running a really good graphics card. So I was able to put everything to high and get perfectly great frame rates. So I think it did the exact same thing when I was in VR, and that kind of made me a little motion sick. I still thought it looked cool. So I should try it again. I should give it another swing, because I kind of felt like I misjudged it, or I was too harsh. I'm like, oh, this doesn't look as nice. The other thing that I noticed is I was wearing armor, and when I would look down at my chest, not on this character, because this character doesn't have armor, that armor kind of like stuck out in the VR perspective. So I'd probably switch out of that, so that way it didn't take me out of the immersion experience. immersive experience. But other than that, I should give it a shot. If you play on the regular in VR, let me know. To me, VR as like a gaming experience still sort of feels like an event, right? And when I say that, I mean, I kind of think of it the same way I think of like the Wii, like when that came out, or Wii Sports, or Xbox 360 Connect, right? Remember, like anything that kind of involves an additional thing, not just a controller, not just a mouse, a keyboard, or even, I guess, a hotel system from that perspective. Because I don't really like the pressure on my head. And then, of course, like in a motion game, you got to move your hands, you get tired. At the end of the day, or whatever it is you're doing, you kind of just want to relax. So I'd love to hear from anyone that has kind of made that their regular. Like, did you just get used to it and you got stronger, perhaps? Or more just used to that kind of stuff? When I play most VR, which is interesting because I don't get motion sick, but I do in VR. After about, and maybe it's not the motion, maybe it's the pressure on the face. After about 35 minutes, I'm usually ready to take a break. And then, you know, give it an hour and I can go again. But 30 minutes, that's kind of like the sweet spot. I remember playing Super Hot in VR. Really fun. Beat Saber, those kinds of things. I would do them in very small sort of spurts. That's why I sort of think of those games as like events. It's an event. It's a thing I'm going to do because it's fun, but it's not my regular sort of play style or way to play. So I'd love to hear from those of you that do. Like, how have you sort of balanced it? Maybe you just never, you know, got sick of it on the face, didn't bother you. Maybe you have a really nice headset that's lighter. I hear the Oculus 3 is exceptionally light, also a bit pricey. But I think I might maybe look into that at some point. We have the 2. All right, let me in. We're not gonna be able to see anything. That's okay. We'll just sit here. I know, it's annoying. Perfect. There we go. Our docking request was granted. Oh, you know what we haven't done yet? I always like to involve those of you that watch this. We need to pick a thumbnail for this. This is one of our longer videos. Those of you that are still here listening to me chat away, one, thank you. We need to figure out what do we want our thumbnail to be. You know what? I think I want it to be something with Rackham's Peak, because this is obviously what we're seeing a lot. But it's got to be dynamic. Ooh, that actually looks kind of cool. No, I don't. It's cool, but it's. I like to see the sun or the galaxy or something. We'll figure something out. We've got time. I always think the interior cockpit looks really cool, but for some reason, it also just doesn't. The outer views just never quite do it for me. Commodities. Let's sell our wine. Excellent. Okay. Our next one is still the Rebel 2. You know, I always liked it when they would show 2 options, but they must not be filling out as well. So we're going to go ahead and check all those things out. We got to fly away here. Boost, boost, boost. Rebel 2. Oops. And it's the P10 Rebel 2. That was a little bit down the list. There we are. And here we go. I guess I went the wrong way. Let's see here. So we just made that trip. We're going to get more. We are making about 50 million per swing, and we are at 773 million. So a little bit of table math there. We need to go at least another 30 million there, and that leaves us at 8. So we have, I would say, 5 runs, and then we are done. We've got to our billion, and then Abby's account will be at 1 billion credits. That's pretty darn cool. Uh-oh. I was not paying attention. Hope we don't overshoot it. We overshot. That's my bad. A little bit of excitement, right? We need a little fun as we do this. Came up quicker that time, which is nice. Oh, it's on the other side. Let's zippity zoop over to the spot here. There we are. Oh no, I wouldn't want this planet to get slowed down. That'll sure put a damper in our adventure. Still really pretty. Maybe this is our shot. Maybe this is the opportunity we have been asking for. That's just a smudgy mess. Something like that's not bad, though. We'll take it. I'll save it as something for the back. I don't think it's something we're going to want, though. There we are. Look at that. It thinks we're trying to land here. We are not. This right here, folks, is why somebody's probably going to raise their hand and say, and that's why Super Cruise Assist is not the play. You really should just do it yourself. And you know what? They're probably right. I think it's a bit like the argument of automatic versus manual in cars. You really should know how to drive a manual, a stick. But my goodness, if automatic just isn't so gosh darn convenient, 99% of the time.
Welcome, Commander. Communications are open if you require docking access. Docking request accepted. Maintain an appropriate speed during approach. Request accepted.
Here we are. Little barrel roll there. I'm glad that this hasn't filled up yet. Last I looked, it was about 8,000 tons left. Then we had our little maneuver and wasted quite a bit of time.
Landing gear deployed.
Oh, zippity doo-dah, here we go. All right, carrier services.
Docking accomplished.
6,000, okay.
Has docked.
Not too
Your
bad.
ship has docked, Commander.
Sure it's there.
Cargo hold at maximum capacity.
Auto launch.
Retracted.
Ship release confirmed. The launch underway.
And we head back. Rinse and repeat and repeat and repeat and repeat and repeat until you get to 1 billion. Boom.
Frameshift
There we
drive
go.
charging. 4, 3, 2,
Maybe we'll look around this ship a little bit. Just kind of take it in. See if there's anything neat here. But we're not going to make that mistake. Let's turn on that super cruise. There we go. Let's look around. I like the extra little seat here. That's cute. And then no seat there. No seat there. What do we see here? Do not cover. It's a safety feature. I don't see a cup holder over here. Little air jets. That's good. Back there. Got the flight stick. And that's the interior. Okay. Just cruising along. At a cool ride on the sun. Well, let's see. This is a fun reminder. Yep, 768 million credits. With a storage capacity of 224. We're holding that wine. Look at us go. And we got good reputation with these folks here at Rackham's Capital Investments. They're cool with us. Got that elite trader status. In addition to that, because we got the elite trader status, oh, our founder's permit didn't show up. I guess we have to log out to see that. We did get the founder's permit. Here we are. I always like to take a moment, just kind of take in all the UI for this. It's cool. You've got your distance and speed, the object you've targeted, your sort of three-dimensional option, your radar, your ship, engines, weapons, systems, little pips, and sort of your status of distance. And you get your stuff on the right, your information, comms. They did a nice job with this. I think it feels very right. And there we go. Zoom, zoom, zoom. We'll boost our way here. 300. 325. 326. Can we beat that? Can we beat 326? No. That's the max for us. That's okay. Almost there. Look at all those ships out there, though. It's a busy, busy spot. Which is nice. You like to see that. They're having a celebration after all. I think we can slow down. Start asking for permission to arrive.
Docking request denied. Docking request denied. Docking request denied.
And then we hear this again.
Request denied. Docking 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 request.
Oh no! Cancel it. There we go. There we go. There we are, Rackham's Peak.
Landing gear.
There's that purple Sidewinder again, or no, is that a Sidewinder? What am I thinking? What is that? That is the Cobra. Duh. That purple Cobra. We've seen it a few times. Good looking ship. Cobra was is one of my favorite ships in this game. It was one of the first like major purchases I made after I started with my Sidewinder. And I used it basically until I learned about this event where I could buy something else. It was such a fun ship, and I had such a good time with it. It was just mine, and I learned so much about the game using it. It was a blast. Special place in my heart for that Cobra.
Landing gear retracted. Ship released.
Okay.
Engines engaged.
Well, it does say the Rebel still has cargo, but it's at like 3,000. Oh, nope, it's at 1,100. No way. We are just going to go ahead and get into Super Cruise, and we'll wait for the next one. That's not worth the trip because somebody else is going to get there. And by that end, it'll be just a wasted trip for us. You know what? Then here I am saying that. And I think, you know, what we could go there, right? We can go there. Let's go there, and here's why. Because otherwise, it's just you sitting here listening to my voice. And although that's fun, probably want to see something on screen as well. So instead of me just sitting here, we're going to sit here and move forward. It's a bit like when you're traveling. Sometimes you don't just want to wait in line, even if it takes less time. You want to consistently feel like you're moving and getting somewhere. So we're going to consistently feel like we're moving and getting somewhere, even if that somewhere we're getting to is absolutely going to be empty when we get there. And it's fun to just look at the numbers go up. 830 million credits. Abby is going to be surprised when she logs in. She doesn't know about this, so I'm tickled for her to log in and be like, oh my gosh, where did all this money come from? Because I did use her account, and I cost her quite a bit of money the other day when I was playing stuff and trying things out. So this is a nice little way to pay her back. You know, we're actually cruising for this thing being so far away. This will be my greatest record. I don't think I've ever been to a fleet carrier 3 times in the booze cruise. So if it all works out, I mean, I've been to them, but they've probably closed out. If this one has wine for us to buy, and we've gone 3 times, that's pretty cool. As long as we don't get stuck by this planet's orbit, get out of there. We didn't overshoot it, so I think we'll be sitting well. Ooh, still not full yet. Let's boost. Let's get there quick. Oh, it'll be so exciting if we can get three things of wine from them.
Adherence to the speed limit is appreciated.
All right. We're gonna wait till we get a little bit closer.
Docking request accepted. Proceed to your designated
All right, let's slow down. All right, docking computer.
request accepted.
Zip me there. Oh no, I just saw a marker come through. Somebody just marked it as full. We just got here and it filled up. Oh, let's hope maybe, just maybe, it's a glitch, right? And they saved us some. Let's see if they saved us some. I am gonna guess they did not. They did not. Well, you know what? We still had a good time. We're not gonna be upset about that. Let's go ahead and get some fuel. And that was worth it.
Ship has departed. The launch underway.
Alright, let's boost away. Head towards the sun. Get our jump. We really only have like 3, 4 tops. Pretty wild. Pretty wild. And we'll have that billion. I'm excited.
Departure complete. again, Commander.
Big jump.
Drive charging. 4, 3, 2, 1. Engage.
It's gonna actually show you.
Well, now we just sit here and we wait a little bit. Tell you what we're gonna do here is I'm gonna use a quick moment to go get a drink of water, and we're just gonna sit here in space and enjoy the music. But I will return. Ah, there we are. Look at that. No movie magic this time, folks. Just a lovely little pause in space. Ooh, a chieftain. He's wanted. Ooh. No. No, 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 no. So we're still waiting for the next fleet carrier to be announced. You know what we could do while we're here? Points of interest. There's a nav beacon. While that's heading that way, so we're just waiting for our fleet carrier to show up. For the next one, we can go to the nav beacon and we can scan it for data. We can actually do the same thing up here. We can honk the system. We have so much to do, so much room for activities. Love it. Well, cancel that, folks. We have a new one to go to. So that's our primary goal. Fleet carriers. We're looking for the Mario Bob's Domain. What a name. Mario Bob. There he is. Perfect. Oh, nice. He's not too far from Rackham's Peak. This should go quick. Alrighty. Oh, while that's going, let's see. A little bit of night vision does nothing. Auto dock is on, all the good stuff. Oh, there's the orbit lines. Looks cleaner. This is kind of one of our different videos. Those of you that actually did stick around, because I know this is a longer video, one, thank you. But two, what is sort of your thoughts about this? Most of our videos are fairly short, so we're kind of just testing stuff. Are these longer form, not necessarily like stream videos, but like, I don't know, gameplay style? Like, is this something that's fun? Does the community find that interesting, or do you prefer more sort of short form videos that you can kind of watch and then move on. Yeah, just be curious to sort of hear your thoughts, your feedback about that. I'm kind of torn either way. I think it's fun to do this, but I almost think maybe I should have streamed this video so then we could all communicate and talk with each other. But at the same time, I don't really know if the people that watch these videos are, you know, all in the same time zone, and I always wonder about that too. When you get a chance to see these videos, is that a good use of like your time? Are you like seeing it right away in your morning? Is it your evening? So like if I were to stream, would I alienate part of the group? I don't know. I think about that. Maybe it's not a big deal. What I do think's a big deal is I always get nervous. Are we going to hit this thing? Are we going to have problems? It looks like we're okay. Planet Sir took some hits. This is that water I was talking about.
Welcome, Commander.
Here we
A
go.
no-fire zone is in effect around this carrier. Docking request accepted. A landing pad has been assigned to you, Commander. Request accepted.
And here we go. Docking.
Landing gear deployed.
Their whole docking situation where the autopilot just sort of sends it straight for always kind of gets me. Like a dainty butterfly.
Docking complete. Engines shutting down. Hello,
This one did
Commander.
not have as much wine. Look at that. We're already at 6,000.
Landing gear retracted.
Clamps disengaged. The launch underway.
And here we head to Rackham's Peak.
Frameshift drive charging. 4, 3, 2, 1. Engage.
And now we've got that Super Cruise Assist active. So here we go. Getting close to the end. Getting close to the end. Get to that billion mark, which is exciting. Just looking at stuff. Okay. Oh, who's that? What do we see there? Shows a way to like target ships while I still have my like normal target. A Great Phantom. Those are cool. All right. Almost to Rackham's Peak. You know, one thing that I should ask the community to explain, or I'm sure I can read it, is to learn a little bit more about the superpowers, like the Federation, the Empire, the Alliance. What does, you know, the community prefer? What do you all like? Do you like the Federation more? Do you work with the Empire more? Does the Alliance seem like a good group to work with? I'd be curious to hear from you if you made it this far in the video. All right, almost there. Here we go. Cargo capacity. Wait a minute. Did I not? Is it actually empty? No, it's not actually empty. I just didn't go back. Ooh, wouldn't that feel silly? So what I was worried about, sorry for those of you just kind of paying attention, my inventory says it's empty. Now, what I believe is happening is that little bug I was describing before, where if you don't load it up again, it doesn't show. Let me in, please. There we go. Let us park right here. We'll knock on the door a few times. Look at that guy, he's floating off. An ally like you is always welcome here? Oh, they just say that to all the girls. Right. So now we see if I didn't have just a senior moment. Yeah, there it is. I was gonna say. Funny. Gave me a shock game. 888 million. We are in the home stretch, everyone. You think we can make it back to Mario Bob? That was a pretty far off one. I'm not so sure.
Engines engaged.
We'll see. He's already at 2,000, so I'm gonna guess no. This is one of those fool me once, shame on you, fool me twice, shame on me situations. But again, because we are just here, I have no problem heading to it. I wonder if instead, if we don't let Super Cruise do it, maybe we'll get there faster. Actually, I'm confident we will. We'll give it a shot. We can mess around a little bit. We got time, right? Well, we certainly overshot. Oh yeah, it's on the other side, of course. We'll circle around. Do a little loop-de-loop over here. There we go. And is it going to drop off in time? That's what everyone's wanting to know. That's the million-dollar question. Hey, we made it. That wasn't so bad. I like how the ships sort of sparkle a bit.
Welcome, Commander. Remain aware of other ships in your vicinity.
So we've done this before.
Docking request accepted.
There we
You
go.
are welcome to approach, Commander.
Ooh, here's something that's kind of topical. I guess it depends. So you can see when this video was dropped. So if you're looking at this in the future, obviously disregard that. But the Game Awards were recently. And I think those were really fun, those of you that watched them. I enjoyed it. I always like to see what everyone's working on, and it seems like there's a lot of really great developers out there doing some really cool stuff. I should pull up the list and we can chat about that. Yeah, let me bring that up. Well, first we better buy our wine. Don't want to get distracted. One mission at a time, right?
Docking accomplished. Ship is secure.
Love it.
Your ship has docked,
And let's not freak ourselves out. There we go.
Maximum capacity. Landing gear retracted.
Good. I'm glad we were able to knock that one out instead of wait.
released. Ship departure confirmed.
A little boost. There we are. The Video Game Awards. The Video Game Awards, huh? And mass lock.
Frameshift drive charging. 4, 3,
All right, I've got the winners up here. Game of the year was Baldur's Gate 3. Not bad. I haven't had a chance to try that game yet, but I did see quite a bit of it online. Not like see a lot of it online as in like I watched gameplay, but just in general, it seemed like it was announced quite a bit. From there, and they're by Larian Studios, looks like they kind of had a clean sweep this year, so they also got players' voice. Ongoing game though, Cyberpunk 2077, so that's good to see. Nice that they continue to support that. Best adaptation, oh, this is obvious. Of course, The Last of Us, a really fun series on HBO. Best mobile game, Honkai Star Rail. I'm not familiar with that. Best multiplayer game, Baldur's Gate 3, coming in, excellent work. Most anticipated game, Final Fantasy. Interesting. Rebirth, okay. Independent game, Sea of Stars. That's not surprising. I think that game did quite well. I remember seeing a lot of stuff on that. Best esports game, Valorant. Okay. You know, with Counter-Strike 2 coming out, or being out now, I wondered if that would have taken it, but that's good, that's good. Best role-playing game, I mean, Baldur's Gate 3. Best narrative, Alan Wake 2. Content Creator of the Year, Iron Mouse. Studio Game Direction, Epic Games. That makes sense, right? You get best narration, all that kind of stuff, or you get best what do they call it? Yeah, narrative. Of course, you should also get studio direction. Game direction, again, Alan Wake, so that's good. Armored Core got action game. Good for them. I didn't play Armored Core, but I did do Elden Ring, and I enjoyed that. Action adventure game, Legend of Zelda, Tears of the Kingdom. Excellent game. If you have a Nintendo Switch, that's a must-buy. Best esports player, Faker. Don't know who that is, but I don't also follow a lot of that, so that's not anything on them. That's just more me. Best art direction, Alan Wake 2. Ooh, best family game, hands down. Easy, easy, easy one. Super Mario Brothers Wonder. That's, of course. Of course. Fantastic. Fantastic game. Actually, we should put some more content of Abby and I playing that together. We've thoroughly enjoyed Super Mario Brothers Wonder, and still are. I'm not even done with it yet. Games for Impact. Tachai. Tchia. I don't know if that's how that's pronounced. By Kepler Interactive. That's super cool. Well, congratulations to those winners. And all those groups that were nominated. I'm sure that was a big honor to be there that night. All right, here we go. We're moving in. Getting closer. All right, we're going to break that 900 million mark. We are getting close, folks.
Docking request denied. Docking request denied.
Denied?
Docking request denied. Docking
You can let
request
me in.
denied. Docking request 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 denied.
I see the spot. It's opening.
Docking request
05. We just need that ship to continue his little path away.
denied.
We're ready for it.
Denied. Docking request denied. Docking request denied.
There it is.
Docking request
And that's us. Perfect.
landing gear deployed.
Excellent. Coming in. Here we sit.
Docking successful.
All right. Starport services. Oh yeah, of course, sell. Excellent. 945 million credits. Auto launch. And there we go. Now we just wait for our next carrier.
Ship released. Engines engaged.
We'll boost away here.
Frameshift drive charged.
Hit that super cruise.
4, 3, 2.
Doesn't really get old. It always looks cool. Now we just gotta float here in space. What's so interesting is because we're not really in the galaxy, right? It's just blackness. And then you look over there, it's where all your additional stars are. I think that's super cool. All right. Our next one is Carrier 277, bunch of numbers. Oh my gosh, it's so close. Yes. Oh, finally. Maybe our final 2 runs, although I imagine everybody it's going to be close for them, so it'll probably still just be 1 run. But that is okay. It's nice when it's sort of a quick little hop, skip, and a jump. Makes you feel efficient. Here we go. But anywho, like I was saying, like it's just darkness out there. If you look at some of our other videos, you see the stars. There's nothing. It's just utter blackness, and I would imagine that would be almost like haunting, like you're falling off a ledge. Really cool. And here we go, dropping off, boosting forward. All the same stuff. This should be no surprise to anybody paying attention.
Communications established. Welcome to a carrier, Commander.
Always like to hear the different voices everyone uses for their carrier AI or their carrier computers.
Docking request confirmed. Assisted approach is underway.
Here we go.
Landing gear deployed.
Ooh, the blue too. That's tasty. Let's see how much is left in this guy.
Landing complete. Commence
Oh,
shutdown.
got quite a bit. We might be able to make this work.
Cargo hold at maximum capacity.
Auto launch, get me there.
Release confirmed. You are clear to leave.
I think this could be it. If we are super efficient, we can get everything we want in 2 runs to this ship, this carrier.
Frameshift drive charging. 4,
I'm excited. I hope we do. Because
1.
one, then this video doesn't have to continue. I'm sure some of you that have been watching it, now you're kind of stubborn. You're like, we gotta finish it. I finished it. We watched the start of this. I want to make sure you get to see that win, that final victory. Wouldn't that have been annoying if this was like one of those soap operas? We get one more run in. I'm like, and we'll see you next week. Tune in. That would be unfortunate. We won't do that to you. I will absolutely get us to 1 billion, and then you can see that number just like I can. We can all do this together. That is unless the computer crashes. It will not. Don't even, will that into existence. Here we go, Rackham's Peak. They always put us so far away. All right. 12 kilometers. Okay. Could probably start asking.
Docking request denied.
Let me in, 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 let me in.
Request denied.
All right. We should be able to slow down here.
Docking request denied. Docking request denied. Docking request denied.
Nice little window view of the ship leaving.
Docking request denied. Docking request denied. Docking request denied. Docking request denied. Docking request
Yeah, 03. Come on, be
request
be the hero we want to see.
request denied. Docking request denied. Docking request denied. Docking request denied. Docking request denied.
03 really let us down.
Docking request denied. Docking request
04 perhaps.
Docking request denied. Docking request denied. Docking request denied. Docking request denied.
I had higher hopes. There it is. You know, I think we might make it. $940 million credits. That is wild.
Landing gear deployed.
Here we go. You know what we'll have to do? I'll almost have to like make it so next time Abby wants to play, I need to record it so we can get her reaction.
Engines disengaged.
That's not a bad idea. So oh my gosh, this was it. We did it here. I don't know, my math was wrong. 1 billion credits. You know, that's so funny. I was sitting here just kind of like zoning out. We did it, everyone. 1 billion credits. 1,300,336,737 credits. Wow. Great work. This was something we all went through together. Truly outstanding. 1 billion. We just broke 1 billion credits in Elite Dangerous. Thank you, Booze Cruise. That is absolutely, positively fantastic. She's gonna be pumped. She's gonna be pumped, everyone. I'm excited. I'm definitely gonna get her reaction to this. So you can see here what I'm doing, just kind of a little bit of housekeeping. I want to make sure we log out in the right location. So this is important. Yes, we got our good stuff. We did what we wanted to do. We did what we came here to do. But you don't want to get stuck here. So this is where you have to do that bit of housekeeping, right? You got to eat your leafy greens. We don't want to be stuck here because we now hit 1 billion. I'm probably not gonna have her log in while we're up here because there's nothing really you can do except just make that money. I want to make sure she's back in the home bubble. So we're gonna go ahead and head back to the PTN Boost Snooze. But my goodness, we did it. 1 billion credits. We got her to Elite Trader status. She's got that Founders World permit. We hit some milestones. Also, why did it kick us off of there? That's interesting. I guess we'll look for the PTN Boost Snooze again. That's funny. Well, we better slow down so we don't miss anything. This is why you pay attention, otherwise you could end up out in the middle of nowhere. I probably skipped right past it because this list doesn't feel... Oh, right there. Nice. Okay. Yeah. Whew. What an adventure. Thank you, everyone who decided to stick around through this entire video. Again, this is kind of a new one, so put in the comments if you're like, hey, this was fun, or hey, save this for a stream next time. Or like, hey, I enjoyed this. It was fun getting to, you know, learn about you and all that stuff. And I hope if you have comments for my comments, please put them in the comment section. Let's chat it up. I asked numerous questions. Don't feel free that you have to answer every single one of them. instead. You know, if one of them was interesting to you, or you're like, yep, I was thinking about that too, or I have a different opinion. I think that's what's cool, is I get to use this platform to meet all of you, this community. And I think that's really cool. Also, that's a really cool looking planet with the dark tans and the light reds and the light tans and the dark reds. That looks really nice. I wonder if we can land there. Probably not. Always seems to be the case in most of these things. If it looks really interesting, you can't land there. But here we are, landing, heading to the PTN boost news. We're gonna log out in this space, so that way we don't miss our whole ride here.
This is flight control.
Our whole ride home.
Pilots are welcome, Commander.
And again, major shout out to the Pilots Trading Network. They put all this together, they orchestrated it, they organized it. Make sure you give them a shout if you're ever interested in trying this experience. I think it's totally worth it. They make it as pain-free as possible. They make it fun. They have a lovely chat, a great community. A lot of fun people participate in this event. So if you get a chance, try to participate as well, and I think you'll have a great time. Other than that, you've now seen how to get home after you've participated. You've seen how to get to 1 billion credits. Thank you so much, and we will see you in our next video. Take care, and have a great day, afternoon, evening, morning, whatever it is. Have a good one. Bye, everyone.
Landing successful.